Hi and welcome into my studio, and today on this tutorial I'm going to show you how I draw an elephant in pastels and charcoals. Pastels and charcoals are very similar mediums, but what I wanted to introduce to you today are pan pastels. So you've got these very high quality pastel pigments with very little fillers and binders in these little cake tubs. So it's a very different way of being able to use pastels. Now they're soft pastels, but not so soft they just fall out. But when you use applicators, they use these soft applicators. You can get all different shapes and sizes from the pan pastel company as well. You can put them on very smoothly. They've got exceptional light fastness as well, so they're a really great product. Something I've never tried out before. Now there's lots and lots of colours in the range, but the only two I'm going to use on this tutorial is the black, and I've also got a white as well, because I want to do this elephant in a black and white, so in like a grey scale. So I'm using grey Strathmore paper as well, so that's going to act as my mid-tone, so that's going to take care of that. And then I'm going to look at the pan pastels, especially for doing the background, but also for blocking in as well. And I think it could really speed my work process up by doing the blocking in. I also think I can glaze over the top. But I'm not using a pastel paper as such. A Strathmore is very soft, so it's going to be interesting to see how it works on there and if I can actually still build up layers. There's going to be a longer version of this on my Patreon channel for anybody who wants to see it in much more detail and to get more tips and techniques with it as well. So I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so here we go. I've got my drawing already transferred down onto my grey Strathmore paper. That's my reference photo I printed out, and there's the pan pastel black with the soft applicator. Simple to use, you just rub it on the surface very gently. Nothing more complicated than that. So all I'm going to use is the black and the white for now, and I'm going to start using it and blocking it in. Now this is my first attempt with these pan pastels as well, so you know, I'm learning as I'm going along. I'm seeing whether I should be using perhaps a horizontal stroke or a vertical stroke or small round movements, because what I'm doing now is actually just putting in kind of the under drawing or the under painting, if you want, blocking in the grey scale. The paper's acting as a middle tone, so I'm going to be concerned with that. So I want to darken it all down, and then the plan at this stage, although I warn you it does change throughout the process, the plan was to get this nice dark grey in, smooth it out then, and you'll see me blend it out as well, because obviously it's going on a little bit patchy at the moment, because remember this is not a pastel paper as such, it's more of a drawing paper. And the plan was to put the black in and then to do the highlights on the elephant in the white, but that, as you'll see later on in the video, doesn't work out to plan, and I end up doing a different technique which I think gives me a much better effect in the end. So basically just picking up little bits of that pastel from the pan. I've got a piece of paper towards the right hand side of me as well, so if I picked up a little bit too much I can just wipe some off. And I'm not worried too much about it going on too evenly. As I said, this is not a pastel paper, so I don't think it's going on as well as it would with a pastel paper, but I've got a bit of a secret up my sleeve, bit of a technique that I learned with graphite recently that I'm going to apply to this pastel to help to smooth it all out. So as I'm learning, you know, by feel, I'm working out pretty much how I want to use these soft applicators, and that's the trade name, soft. They come in all different shapes and sizes, as I mentioned. So when I want to go a little bit darker, I'm just pushing a little bit harder, and I'm picking up a little bit more of the pastel. So I'm just going to carry on with this process and block it all in. So as I said, this is a speeded up version, so it's just showing me in really fast time blocking in with the pan pastels and then using a chamois leather to smooth things out and get them all nice and uniform in tone. Then I can start to come back in with the charcoal pencils, start to really deepen and darken all those creases and crevices in the elephant's skin. Because what I want to do then is work pretty much from dark to light. So just putting the major ones in for now, and then a few more of the more intricate ones. Doesn't really take long. Got my reference photo as close as I can there, just to see all the details. And I've also started to block in a really smooth background using the pan pastels. First the black and then the white. Super easy to get real smooth backgrounds with these pastels. That's where they really come into their own. And then probably one of the highlights or centre of interest of this drawing is going to be the tusks, because that's where the real lightest lights are. There I'm using a Derwent white charcoal. Just detailing it up, keeping some of the texture as well before I start to darken the darks again. Now I've started to try and do the highlights in white, but I wasn't happy with that process. So I switched back to the pan pastels and decided to darken everything down, then lift the highlights out with an eraser. And even after you've been painting and drawing as long as I have, you know, there's something to learn on each one. And for this particular elephant, that white wasn't working. It was given a milky appearance, and the pan pastel darks worked much better. Here you can see I'm really punching up the darks now, getting all those creases in. Because I want all the darks in before I start to lift out the highlights and the midtones with the eraser pen. Now here's the eraser pen starting. It's called Tough Stuff. You can't get hold of them easily anymore. You could about 6 months ago. I'm not sure what's happened with them. But you could do a similar technique using a normal eraser or another brand pen eraser. And you can see it is lifting off the pastel and the charcoal very easily. When I want to lift off a lot, I push a bit harder, and when I only want to lift a little amount, I just push quite lightly with the eraser. So this is quite an easy technique with very minimal supplies. I'm using a mono zero eraser every now and again, so that's a smaller version really of the Tough Stuff eraser. So this is a nice easy one for somebody to try out, especially if they want to start with the pan pastels and actually only use perhaps 1 or 2 colours. And as I've shown here, I only use black and white. So just those final details now. Using the softer pencils, using my stump just where I want small areas to blend. Just as I would doing a graphite drawing, using these hardish and soft stumps as well. Great for softening small areas. So you can see the Tough Stuff eraser, the black one on the right hand side, and then the mono zero. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye open to see if the Tough Stuff gets made again or it gets supplied again. I'm going to stock up on them this time. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and perhaps learned a new technique, or seen how I've tackled what seems to be a really difficult subject of all those wrinkles on the trunk of an elephant. It's really like a complicated roadmap, but the pan pastels really simplified it. They've helped a lot. I'm definitely going to try using them again, and we'll see what else I can create with them. See you all again real soon. Now if you're looking for even more photographs, I've got a brand new Patreon channel, and every month I put lots of photos up on there. They're all with Easy Trace line art, as are these ones. And over on my website I've got over 900 photographs on there. That's wildlifeart-online.com, and they all come with Easy Trace line art as well. So if you struggle with the drawing stage, that's there to help you out. If you're looking for art videos and tutorials, ebooks, then my website jasonmorgan.co.uk should help you there as well. And don't forget, please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you can. I've got new videos coming up on you all the time. See you all again real soon.